So I just want to make sure we understand all that flow here first, right? Um, in that sense, okay? So that's the share a website perspective for those of you that have never used it before. Also, all these tabs is almost like my own browser. That's the nice part about saving it. So let's say I bring up this Juice Plus site first, right? And I'm sharing it. And then maybe somebody wants me to bring up my calendar to book an appointment after they purchase products. Maybe we want to schedule an onboard training. So I've got Juice Plus up. I could go from standard to interactive, stop sharing. But now I want to bring up my calendar. See if my calendar is saved here. Or I could type it in. If I want, I could erase this and type it in. Or I could just click calendar. And you see, even though it tells me the Juice Plus one right here, now it tells me the one I'm ready to switch to. And I literally push a button, and now my calendar be up. So I could do this with every website here. Go back and forth, standard, interactive, change websites. It's a really great, simple UX. Any questions on that?
So you don't have to push stop. You can just change to another one.
Correct. I don't even have to push stop.
Okay.
So let's say I want to go to my pitch site, for instance. So notice I'm not going to hit stop. I just hit pitch, and now I'm going to bring up pitch.
Okay.
Now, just remember when I stop, because maybe sometimes when I hit stop, that means there'll be no website there, right? As opposed to seamlessly switching from one to the other. So it's more of like I'm putting on a show, right? How do I just want the experience to be, right?
Okay. And I've once found the whiteboard on this, and I can't find it anymore. Where's the whiteboard?
Yeah, the whiteboard is only in version 1. We don't have that on version 2 yet. That's why you couldn't find it.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't you, right? And also, can you you can't see this. I'll never mind on that question. But again, it should, so pretty clear, hopefully, on that aspect of share website. So you can copy and paste it, you can type it in, you can preview it, you can jump from website to website, and doesn't matter if you have it, it's not like you have to set up a widget ahead of time and be prepared. You can cut and paste it from your browser. Incredibly easy to use, okay? So any questions on that? And then I'm going to go back to the difference now and talk about screen share, right? Versus active website, okay? So now I'm here. And also, I could X this out. Sorry, I'm going to do this, okay? Or I could literally hit here. Both of them gets rid of the menu. I could click on this back and forth to open it up, or I could just click here to get rid of it. Either one, okay? Just two easy ways to do that, okay? Go back here a sec. Okay, now let's say I'm going to do a screen share and I have a PDF or I have a PowerPoint, right? So what I want to do beforehand, because it's not in my browser, right? So what I want to do is I want to open up that PDF first. Sorry, I don't think I have one here to open up for you. Sorry. I may have one here. Let me see if I can open up a, sorry, let me see if I have, oh yeah, I have my Arnold script, right? Okay. So I open up my Arnold script, okay? And then I'm going to hit screen share, not share a website. I'm going to hit the share button right here. I'm going to hit on my application window, and you see my PDF is right here. So as long as I open up first, it's that middle one. Click on a window. It's like opening up another browser. I click on it, boom. There it is.
And I can it's not interactive then, right?
What's that? It's not interactive because there's nothing to be interactive on,
If there was a link.
No, because I'm sharing this like a Zoom, right? This is just normal screen.
That's why I said there's no interactive. Okay.
Correct. But that's how the key is. You just have to open up the document ahead of time so it can find it. Otherwise, it doesn't know it's there. And then I can actually control it any way I want, as opposed to using the player, that we have. Which again,
can you explain the three options you have on the window where it says when you do share screen? Yeah, the top three, open tab. Yeah,
you can see it, right? So the difference between us and Zoom right, is because Zoom, you download the software, right? So your computer has a different relationship with an application on your computer than it does in the browser. So that's why for us, you have to put a big X through your entire screen. Right? You can't, or you're going to get that terrible mirror effect, right? And you're going to go, oh my God, where's my Zoom? You know, right? From that perspective, right? So when it says tab, and it doesn't matter what browser it is, right? The one on the left, because some people will call it different things, like Safari may call it something else, or Opera calls it, or Google Chrome. But on the left-hand side, it's always your tabs. The ones that I have open in my browser, the one that I'm actually launching my application from. And notice when you click on those tabs, you always get a preview. So you can always, you don't have to remember what's on that tab. You actually get to see it. And then if there's a video that you want to play on that, you want to make sure that this is on. Usually it's on by default, but sometimes it's not. And you want to make sure that is on. And then literally you hit share. Okay. It's that simple, right? So share any tab you want. Okay. And then let's say, for instance, I'm sharing this tab. Okay. And then I want to click on a different tab, right? Every time I click on a different tab, it'll say share this tab instead. So I don't have to stop sharing to change tabs. I literally share that tab instead. I share this tab instead. So that's what, every time I do it, I literally just make sure I hit that and I'm good to go. Okay? No questions on that perspective, right? Hold on here. Let me get back to where I was.
Can you store or show a PDF without sharing?
No. Mm-mm. No, you can't do that with any webinar. You have to screen share unless you're putting it in our player, and I'll show you that in a second. But
Yeah, show me how to put it in the player.
okay, so but I want to be really clear. So number one, these are the tabs. Now let's say, for instance, you have another browser open, right? Sometimes, like I have my Google Chrome browser as my main browser, and I have Opera behind where I'm showing these other things, and I want to share that entire browser, not just one tab, the whole browser, and then be able to go from tab to tab. That's when I would click on Window. And when you click on Window, you're sharing that entire tab. And if you have 20 tabs open, you can click on any tab seamlessly, and it'll show every tab on that browser. So it's almost like our version of entire screen in the sense of it's an entire browser. And you see it and you get to click on it. Okay, so that's sharing a tab or sharing a browser, and you can forget that one. Okay.
I have a question about that as well. I had a PDF of a slideshow presentation on PowerPoint, and I tried to do it into Google, and I struggled with it and I gave up on it. But I do have it in a PDF format that is on my all of my other things. So can I just share screen and I can go through the actual slideshow that way?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. As long as you open the slideshow first,
Okay.
right?
Mhm.
Then you click on that middle one, Window. You'll see a picture of your slideshow. You click on it and you can show it without putting it into the Google Slides player that we have, 100%. But let me show for somebody who does want to convert. And again, I can set up an appointment with you with Alvaro, who will show you how to convert it to Google Slides. Right?
Okay.
Alvaro is my Google Slides guy, not me. As you learn, that's not my strong suit, right? But let me show you how you can actually create it in our player. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
So everyone, hopefully you can see my dashboard. Okay. And so if you click on, I think it's My Media. Yeah. So here's my presentations. Okay. So if you click on My Presentations and you want to, these are ones I've uploaded already. Okay. And I want to add a new presentation. This is where you would add that Google Slide ID number. So if you converted a PowerPoint into a Google Slide, then every Google Slide presentation has an ID number. That's my Alvaro part, right? So go find where that ID number is. You literally put it up here, you upload it, and you're done. Now, how does that look for us, right? Let me show you how that looks as a player and why you may want to do it if you can. In the sense, you may want to do it in the sense of that it's just easier for you as a host, right? So now I'm in my presentation. Sorry. Yes. and I want to play my Google slide presentation. So that goes where we share a website, same section. You hit on that button right here.
Okay.
And notice, you may not have noticed before, but it says websites here, and then it says slides. This is where the presentations are.
Okay.
So you click on slides, and all the ones I've uploaded are right here. Again, I didn't, set them up a long time ago, right? So I'm going to pick on my presentation, okay, and then it pops up right here, and I get to see it before I decide to share it. So now I hit start sharing, and this is interactive, by the way. So if you did have a link or a reason or a button, it actually is interactive, which is kind of cool in that sense. And also I get to see the next slide before I show it to the world, right? So I can literally toggle back and forth really nicely, go back and forth and make a presentation. And it's also nice, we have a little timer in case you wanted to know how long it was taking you to present it, right? Stay on track, right? But this is where it's great. And so there's, just so you know, there is a lot of free, if you just Google it, convert PowerPoint into Google Slides, there's all these free deals. You push a button and you download it and it'll do it. But you want to check every slide, because sometimes based on the layout, it doesn't transfer easily and you may have to modify a slide or two. And what's nice about this is, let's say I'm making a great PowerPoint presentation, right? I didn't want to have to give that up, but then I want to go to my Calendly. Then I still want to go interactive. What I love about this, it's so seamless to go this. So I finished my PowerPoint presentation, and all I do is hit stop sharing. And I close this out with the X, and I'm right back to my share website. So now I could immediately bring up my calendar or bring up my website that I want them to take a sign up for my newsletter, purchase a product, go to DocuSign. But that's seamlessly going back and forth between slides and websites. I could do that all day long. So that's the advantage of turning it into a Google Slides presentation. Eventually, we'll have it where it won't be limited to Google Slides, right? That we're trying to build it where you can upload the PowerPoint as it is. But again, it's just a matter of priorities of when we want to focus on what. But that's the ultimate goal, that no matter what format you have, it was just for us, Google Slides was set up to do it that way and had a great player that we were able to then build upon. So we did it that way.
So eventually you'll be able to upload a PDF and just go from there, correct?
Eventually, correct.
Okay.
Yep. So it's one of those things that technically possible. We just need to dedicate the team to making that happen. But right now, they're like, I'd be happy to set it up with you, and Alvaro could find make it easy for you, just give you the ID number
Thank you.
and help you convert it.
If we didn't want to share the screen, we could actually do a PowerPoint. Share a website. We can actually do a PowerPoint by sharing the screen and then just go through the PowerPoint, right?
Correct. That's what I said. That's that middle button in the window, right? When I opened up my Arnold script, right? That's the same as a PowerPoint. It's a document. Doesn't matter what format it is. And then as soon as I hit that window button of share, it was right there. So that's what I meant. Is so like right now, I'm going to open up once again my Arnold document. I just opened it up so it can see it. Then I hit screen share, and you see it's right there.
Right. Awesome.
Yep,
How's
there it
the
is.
teleprompter work?
I'm sorry. Say that again, sir.
I read somewhere that this has a teleprompter, right?
No.
Oh, it doesn't.
No, very few people have ever asked me for that feature. I don't see maybe that's just me, because I'm a lot more about, I think I would never teach anyone to read from a teleprompter to make a presentation in a webinar. I'm saying that's just my own personal deal. So that's why I haven't thought about really adding that to it just goes against the authenticity, I think, and the effectiveness of the platform. But if there's enough people that want it, we can certainly create it. I just haven't gotten much of a demand for that.
Sure.
I've never been on a webinar myself personally where someone's reading a teleprompter that is going to be effective for me. They probably shouldn't be just doing a webinar. They're probably just not built for a webinar. That's where I think an avatar would be better than than reading a script.
Right.
but you can certainly do that. Let's say, for instance, you wanted to create that. You could use the Google Slide Player as your script, as your bullet
Right.
points.
Right.
I'm saying if you wanted to, but again, just not the best use case of the technology.
Sure.
Okay. Anybody? Oh, there's something in the chat. I don't know if I missed that. I'm really bad on chats. Sorry. Okay. Hey, Terry. Oh, she was helping people with Google Slides. Yeah. Okay, Terry, if you offer that, you're going to become my Google Slide girl, just so you know. All right. Okay. Any other questions or thoughts? Is anyone brand new who feels like they came into the middle of a party and they got started in the middle of a conversation and would like me to back up and pretend that every single person here is brand new, never heard a pitch before? I mean, whatever is comfortable for you guys that I could be helpful for you. Happy to do that. Some of the things that do get ignored, right, in the beginning, right, is some of the obvious things here. And so let me just go that in the sense of our dashboard. Like today, we got a call from somebody who said, I wanted to do an instant meeting and I didn't know where my link was, right? I mean, sometimes we just skip to the complicated stuff and realize it's the simple stuff that matters. This yellow box, and that's why we highlighted it. Anytime you want to start an instant meeting, there's your link will be here. You can copy it here, you can copy it here, you can copy it here and send it any way you want, and then hit start meeting and you're good to go. And also your scheduled meetings are down here. And these three dots are kind of your magic bullet points. Start a meeting, share the invites, edit the meetings, and all that perspective is just right there. Pretty simple from that perspective. When it comes to the other parts of the dashboard, this is where if you start referring people, whether you get cash or free service, this is kind of your guide of knowing how much money we owe you. So you may like that page. The other page you may like is that how we pay you, which is basically you have to do two things. You have to give us your banking information and your tax information. And then as soon as those things are filled out, you're good to go. The communication center is if you can't remember the link to this meeting, you can actually join it from right here. Also, we have recordings of our Tuesday night event is usually here, or special, like we'll have a special Saturday training this Saturday. We'll have a recording of that here. And a lot of times people go I've seen your 47-second, I've seen your 2-minute. Where can I get a copy of that? Where can I get the script? All of that is right here. As soon as you hit watch it, you'll also see the script if you want to copy it to go make that your own in that perspective. The My Media is a really important section because this is where all your recordings are. And you can literally, again, very easy, share those recordings, create thumbnails for those recordings. This is where your AI avatars are to be able to go create the avatars that we talk about. I mean, just so you know, I use our own platform to create our own avatars. So all I did was upload a picture of Arnold off of Google. I put in literally Arnold Terminator. I found the one picture without sunglasses, so I thought it was more personal. I then found a YouTube video of his voice. I converted that to an MP3 file, uploaded his voice, and then I just wrote the script. And so pretty simple there. Also, our pitch tutorials, we have about 8 or 9 of those on how to do certain functionalities are right here. They're only a couple of minutes long, so kind of easy to do that. And we'll be adding that. We're going to be, we're in the middle of right now kind of upgrading the website with all of our new features. We're going to take this presentation. Let me show, I have that here. And we're going to incorporate this. Let's see if I can find it.
While you're looking for it, I've got somebody new on the line. Her name is Charlie Jacobs. So Charlie, meet Steve.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Hopefully I'm not scaring you off, right?
No, it's fantastic. When you send an email, are you always just sending a link, or is there like a way to send?
When you send an email, I'm sorry.
Yeah, if you're sending an email, you want to share this, or you're sending a text message, I could use it as a reminder, a follow up. Is it a link or is it embedding like a little still?
Yeah, I'll show you. You can actually create a thumbnail, so they don't get just an ugly link when you send things to us, recordings of us. If that's what you're talking about, or you're talking about the invite system.
Not the invite, more like using it for true like follow up or an
Oh
email
yeah,
to
no,
invite
yeah.
someone
I mean,
that's interactive also. And then
sure.
one quick thing, I wasn't sure if there is a okay, like in Zoom, you do a heart or thumbs up or whatever when you know, do you guys have that? I was trying to answer you with a emoji. I didn't see it.
I'm not sure if we have that. We had that in version 1. I don't think we brought that over yet in version 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which, I like that too. I like to get all my applause.
Yeah.
But I wanted to say, so this is what I use many times in our presentations, and we're going to be incorporating this in the website because this has our latest features, the latest why of people should use this. As I always say, kind of the bullet points quickly up front of what makes that use. I'll also put this in the chat for those of you that want access to this for yourselves until we get it up on the site. A second here, let me do.
You know what I discovered this morning? We have, my AI assistant came on, he started talking to me. You didn't tell us about that. He said,
Yeah,
well,
I haven't. I don't really promote it much because I haven't worked on it enough to be where I want it to be. So I don't want to drive all these people to it and they go, I asked it a question, it wasn't the right answer. Wasn't the right answer yet. So
Right.
that's the only reason I haven't talked about it as much as I did in the beginning, because I realize now kind of what I need to do to make it as effective as I want it to be. But we definitely have the infrastructure there, and you can certainly do things in that respect. But I do want to play an example here of a 47-second, like you say, this would be a text or an email that would come with a thumbnail. So I wanted to play it for you first. Okay, if you're new and you probably haven't seen this. So imagine somebody getting this as an interactive text. Okay.
Interested in turning every webinar, text, email, or live stream into an interactive moment? Then listen to this. Every day, 550 million people watch a live webinar. 185 billion texts are sent. 100 billion emails are read, and 1.5 billion people watch a live stream weekly. With Pitch's platform, we make every one of those points of contact an interactive experience. Guests can shop, enroll, sign contracts, book appointments, or hear you in any language. We don't want to change what you do, but we do want to change your results. Learn more? Watch a detailed demo or book a live session to understand why Pitch, why now, and what it can do for you.
Now, just so you know, the customer won't see the copy script. We did that because I pulled it out of my back office, because the reason we have the script there is we encourage people to get rid of me and do that with themselves and modify the script personally. But I do want to show you what I meant about if you were going to create that, you're sending it to somebody, you want to personalize it as much as possible with a nice thumbnail. This is where you would go to my recordings. Okay. So like that video that I just played for you, there's a green button on there I didn't show you that says download the video. So you can literally download that video on your computer, and then you can upload it, and then you could decide to add whatever website that you want or change it. But here's an example of like when I send this, my Arnold Schwarzenegger one from yesterday, right? I hit edit after it's made, and notice here in edit, I have all of these buttons that I could play with. One of them is the thumbnail. So this is where if I wanted to change the thumbnail and change the description of the thumbnail, I could do that in real time. So literally, if I was sending this to a particular individual and I wanted to say, hey, Dave, this is what I really want you to see, I could actually type that right here. And you see it's typing in real time. And so that's where you can really personalize these things to do that. but all I do to change the thumbnail is literally hit change thumbnail, and then I upload it as a photo from that perspective. I can also change what websites I want to appear at exactly what time I want it to appear when that video is playing. So for instance, let's say I'm watching this video here.
Hello, everyone. Don't look surprised to see me.
And I'm trying to remember about what point he starts to talk about pitch, right? So I go, okay, I think it was
So many people benefiting from our capabilities, but probably no one more so than the people here at Pitch.
Right. So as soon as he said the people here at pitch, which is at the 58-second minute mark, I thought, oh, that's when I'm going to take him off a full screen and I'm going to pull up that slideshow presentation that I just showed you. So I could change this as much as I want, add as many pages as I want, turn them, discount them. So this is where I go from thumbnails to descriptions to adding websites. I could change it on the fly. All that in the recording section. I know that's a lot for day one or day two, right? As a new person. But, and also, again, I encourage people, if there's any time in my calendar that you see open and you want a one-to-one training or with a few other people that maybe join with you, happy to do that in addition to the 4 o'clock training. Because a trained person to me is our best public relations, right? Versus then every time he does it, it sounds great, but every time I do it, I don't know, and then I can't quite get there. I just want you to know we're as committed to you using the product as opposed to impressing you with what the product can do in that sense. But so there's a lot of different types of training. And this Saturday, right, we're also going to have a special training. Harry, what time is it? At 10 o'clock Eastern? Is that what it is? I don't remember.
10 o'clock Eastern.
Yeah, and we're going to spend, some time on that about it's not just going to be product training, right? That's what these are for. This is a training on how to talk about pitch, how to sell pitch, how to share pitch, who's using pitch, to make it easier for you to share, because how you set it up and how you explain it makes it so much easier. Because also we don't want anyone paying for the service, right? So realize when you refer 3 people who are at the same level of service that you are, greater, you don't longer pay for the service. I am proud of the fact that we're the only company that will, whether you're using our service or not, if you've never signed up for it, but you referred people to us, we'll pay you the same as if somebody who's using the service. So, I mean, to me, the dream situation is, we're paying you even before you start to use the service, and you get your service for free and you've made money. So, but I can tell you in the real world that if you sign up for free and don't use the service, then it's really hard to get someone to sign up for the service and pay for the service, right? So there's just a reality of how it works. We just didn't want money to be the stop someone's dream from coming true. So if someone is not in a position to sign up, we wanted to eliminate that barrier. Same way we wanted to eliminate the barrier of language. Same way we wanted to eliminate the barrier of being limited to webinars and doing text or emails. So my training over the last 25 or 30 years is find out what people are comfortable doing and make them more effective at that than pushing people into the uncomfortable zone, right? And teaching them that that's okay to do it. I just find you have much more success when I can find out what you do best and what you like to do, the way you like to communicate with people, and make you more effective at that. And then eventually you'll creep over into the other areas. Like if this was a social media training platform, how to use YouTube and Facebook and Instagram, I think you guys would go to lunch, right? It's kind of like, that's not our world, even though, now mind you, I could do a training for 25-year-olds tomorrow and they love this product. When I say to you, and this is the speech, honest speech, I always say to people, the first time I ever did this demo for a 25-year-old marketing whiz kid, it was the first time, maybe in 10 years, I was nervous, right? Because I thought he would say to me, maybe you should show this to my dad, but you don't really get us, right? And I didn't want to be humiliated, right? And so when I said to him, I said, so you broadcast on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. I said, how many people do you get on those live broadcasts? And he's very proud of himself. I get 5,000, 10,000 people. And I said, what's your conversion ratio? Well, maybe 0.25%, on a really good day. And I said, what if you could put a join my VIP room, meet the creator, meet the influencer, meet me live while it's going on, and you have your website up where you're selling your t-shirts and caps where your conversion ratio will be 70%, because if they wanted to meet you, that means they wanted to buy from you too. And they said, where do I sign? So I'm saying, like, I'm not teaching you to teach that to a 25-year-old, right? Because they're going to go, you know, but that's what I meant about when you build a platform that's so effective, it's really important how you talk about it to the right person. And so if somebody's making a fortune by sending out texts and emails, I don't want to convince them that a webinar has a higher closing rate. They're not interested in that conversation. But if I say to them, how do I make your texting more effective? How do I make your email campaigns more effective? Now I have their attention. And that's the beauty of this platform. When so many people say to me, like somebody, I'm good with my Zoom. Okay. You know, they didn't say that to me. Somebody else told me they couldn't get them on a demo because they said, I'm just good with Zoom. Yeah, that person we're probably not going to have success with, right? Because again, he's the guy, I like to say, if he rode a horse to work and it was only 5 minutes away, he's probably not that interested in a car. It's not going to change his life, right? So again, you've got to have the right conversation to the right person at the right time, you know, in that sense. As otherwise, you're a salesperson. I don't want to be a salesperson. I'm not comfortable in that role. But I do like to make people's lives more effective in whatever they're choosing to do. And I think that's what this platform does. But so again, how can I help anybody else today? Can I show you anything? Can I share anything? Don't be shy. This is not the moment to hold back, waiting for someone else to ask the question that you want the answer to, you know? So George, is there anything I can do for you, or Charlie, anything I can do for you today, or you guys are good?
I like it all. I just like to see. I like all the ideas. I like tech.
Well, I could tell you that there's two different sets of questions. There's the concept questions, right? What it can do. And then there's the questions once you're doing it, right?
Right.
And
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
exactly. So I'm saying as soon as you start to play with it, you'll have a different set, you know, of questions, you know, in that perspective. And I look forward to answering those for you as well. Okay. The other thing too is on voice translations. I just want to be really clear that at the touch of a button, we could literally turn this meeting into 40 different languages at the same time. So that means if I was doing this to 40 countries, 40 different languages, each individual person would hear me in the language of their choice, almost in real time. It's like hiring a real translator. It can't be real time because they have to hear me say it first, right? So literally it hears me and then it translates it, right? And the other thing is, if those people in those 40 languages want to speak to me, or we unmute them so they can speak, you'll hear it in the language of your choice. I'll hear all those 42 languages in English. Now, sometimes when people first try it, they have everyone not on mute, you know, and everyone's talking a different language, and it sounds like, you know, the Tower of Babel just came to life. You know, no one understands anybody, right? So it's really important to know that it's really one voice, one language at a time to be heard, but in the sense that it really does work it if you use that technology correctly. Also, when you're doing the avatars, just so you know, you can actually, when you're writing your script, you can go to ChatGPT and convert it to Spanish, convert it to some strange African language that, you know, most companies aren't going to have, and the avatar will speak it in that language. So you can literally, I'm saying, you know, have any language in the world when you write your script by just converting it. And so what I mean by that, for those of you, again, that are kind of new, let me just say this: when you go to our avatar section, as opposed to taking a video and converting it into another language, which is a different process, then let me go here. So right here, when I load my script, I have no limitation on what language I could copy and paste that script in. And so I can create that in Swahili, I'm saying, if I wanted today. And it's amazing, I'm saying, that that lack of limitation. And so just realize that doesn't matter what language, 42 languages live, but when you're creating an avatar, you can take chat or any translation service you want, as opposed to depending on something that we're supplying. Just write it in this, copy and paste it in the script, and you're good to go. And just remember, for those of you that have never seen the avatar before, let me say this. There's some really great avatar companies out there. And I'll give you their names. It's called HeyGen and Synthesia, or the two that I know. And they're very complicated to use, and they're really great for marketing agencies more than individuals. And so when I saw those and got inspired to go, how could we leverage that kind of technology here? Number one is, if you do create avatars in a third-party studio, you can actually upload them here and use them. You don't have to use ours. If you're good, you don't have to step down and use ours in order to do that, right? But I said, how could I be best in class so it rivals those in a way that people can use it? And so I saw there was a really narrow road that I thought everyone can do. And I'm proud to say that, yes, whether you're 18 or 82, we've had people now create their own avatars. And all you do is you upload a picture from your computer, or if you're doing this on your phone, you upload a picture. And once you upload it, you save it here. If you want to upload a new one, you can upload a new one right from your computer. So I said to myself, every single person can do this step one with very little training, right? Second thing is, most of them, we're not into the celebrity business. The person that's most important is you, right? That's the person that you want to have the right voice on. So most people aren't going to be very fancy about converting MP3s and YouTube videos, right? But what they can do is they can talk. They can talk for 15 seconds. No special script. Just literally hit start recording and talk. And then we'll have your voice in the library forever. The only thing I would suggest is you may want to record your voice more than once, because maybe you want one more that's interview style, one more that's really excited. You know what I'm saying? So you give yourself some more options, even though we'll change it. It's just how close to home do you want it to be? So I got voice down for the average person. I got picture down. I think I'm doing well. The second part is a script. Now you can cheat and use ChatGPT if you want, or Gemini or anything else. Again, I come from the era of authenticity, so I encourage people to try to write their own. But a lot of people use a combination of both. So let's say you write your script here, and for those of you that saw the Arnold yesterday, right, and how realistic it was, one of the reasons it's realistic is because of this AI enhance button. The AI enhance button actually reads the script that you write. And then these things in brackets here where it says curious is suggestions by the AI. And it's not talking to you, it's talking to the picture. It gives the picture those expressions, those attitudes. And the great part is let's say I disagree with it. I don't want curious. I want confident. I literally can go in and type over it and change it. And then I hit AI enhance and it'll add confident, if I spell it right, to it. So that's where you've got all of this, why ours is so good. No one ever looks at our AI videos and going, oh, God, I wish it was like HeyGen. No, ours are good because we narrowed this use case of simplicity and effectiveness. And so that's why I encourage you to go in and play with that when you're brand new. And I know, the amount of people who started out thinking they were never even going to use the feature, it sounds like a frivolous, silly thing to do, and now has become an important part, whether it be for helping to encourage people to show up to your meetings, or thanking them for showing up, or upselling them, or onboarding them to whatever they've decided to do. All of those options come from the use case of that. Okay, so hopefully that answers those questions.
That's really nice, just because you can have different personas of yourself, meaning, wear something different, right? Or be more casual, be more professional, and also reply in a different, follow up in a different outfit.
Correct. And here's a great example. Like today, you may be worried about what your background is, right? You may be worried how your hair is today or what you're wearing, right? And so you'd go, I'm not going to do a recording today, right? But when it comes to the avatar, you can take the best version of you and make the best presentation every time, not to replace you, but to get them in front of you, right? That's what I'm saying. I'm not suggesting that people do a 45-minute webinar with, with an avatar, right? I think that's a bad choice. But I'm saying to use it for those quick moments of follow-up and education and training, and I think it's invaluable. As I said, I used the example as we had a gentleman who was a huge international sales sensation for many, many years, had great success. He joins our program and he doesn't have the confidence to be able to talk to all of his people yet and to explain our scenario. So when we encouraged him, why don't you write a 90-second script where you can have the confidence to do it and we'll edit. And so all of a sudden, instead of waiting another month to get comfortable with our platform for where he goes, he could now send that interactive invitation out to learn more about us. And he sounds like he knows our platform for 3 years because it's the perfect presentation. So it's not frivolous. It used correctly, it really is incredibly impactful, whether you're starting out or successful. So that's what I meant. Think about small steps. Think about an invite reminder. You know, if I said literally, Rachel, I know I'm going to see you in about 10 minutes in a second. I just want to thank you for coming. I'm saying people appreciate those extra efforts. So I would always have these generic ones in my library that I can send to anyone at the touch of a button, one for people who purchase, one for people who didn't purchase, one for people who maybe want to upsell, that I could send to anyone. And then I would make those rare individual ones when I have somebody really important. So like, for instance, if I knew George Santoro was on my call today, I may not want to send him just a follow-up that I send to everyone else, right? I want to send one that's going to wow him and impress him, and I'm going to put that effort into it and continue that relationship with it. So
but you can't do your own without, you can record. It doesn't have to be an avatar, is that right?
No. I just meant, I'm saying, like, for me personally, when I do my recordings, it'll take me 2 hours because I'm going to do it 20 times. I'm going to drool, right? I'm going to stutter. So that's what I meant. But if you're gifted and you have it, sure, you could absolutely do it yourself, all day long in that perspective. So, all right, guys, I'm going to let you go. Remember, we're back here tomorrow, 4:00 Central. So if you guys play with the platform at all between now and then, I can answer those questions. Or again, feel free tomorrow. If you, like you said, if you're brand new, you haven't really started yet, and you want me to do a, day one training, happy to do that and mix it up with solving people's issues. Okay.
Can you talk about now here if you wanted to go into the private or elite room? That scenario. So like right now you're like, okay, great, the meeting's ended, but for those of you who've just done XYZ, who took action, who did something, right? How are you
A breakout room.
How are you getting rid of the people who, keeping the people who paid and took action in the moment right now using the screen, right? They bought something, and now we're all going to go into like where.
Yeah. So like you're asking if we have breakout rooms. So we have breakout rooms on our version 1. We're building that into this version 2, where you'd be able to do that. And in fact, yesterday I was having this conversation, and this is very cool, is let's say, for instance, I sent out I had 10 salespeople who work with me, 10 friends, right? And they invited, this is something that I think is amazing. So let's say I created these 10 smart links for people in my sales organization. They filled up the meeting with 100 people. So each one of those invite links is attached to their replicated or affiliate website, right? Which means that they'll get credit for the sale through their company. But now at the end of the meeting in our breakout room, if those 10 people, and I'm ahead of time, I'm going to set up these 10 breakout rooms. When they go to the breakout rooms, they will also go to those breakout rooms with their interactive websites, each one individually. So they'd be able to have that one-on-one privacy, right, to be able to close people at the end of the meeting. And so that, to me, being able to do that, which is why we haven't yet introduced our breakout room. We didn't want to just bring it over. We wanted to build it with a unique experience. And that's an unheard of experience where that person can take, so 3 things can happen. A person can take action live during the meeting, with the, let's say, the master of ceremonies being able to answer any questions, because maybe the new person who invited people don't feel confident enough to go to a breakout room. So you want to keep that person here to answer questions. Number two, you'll be able to go to a breakout room with all your guests that you invited and actually still have an interactive website. And then number third is at the end of the meeting, if you want someone to say, hey, look, if you didn't have time to make a decision today, click this button and the website that I invited you in on is going to appear in your browser. And you can do this after the meeting if you want to call me and we continue to discuss it. So the interactivity, the communication will happen. Really, what I like to say is meeting the person where we want to meet them versus trying to convince them to do something that we don't want to, that they don't want to do when they're ready to do it. So they'll be able to do it live with everybody. They'll be able to do it in a breakout room, or they can do it after the meeting's over by themselves. Be able to finish whatever transaction you wanted them to take. So cool stuff coming.
Steve, this is Gail.
Hey, Gal.
Hi, quick question. Are we able to delete our cloned voice? I have a cloned voice, but it sounds now that I have an accent. And
Well, you don't have to delete it. I'm saying I don't know if there's a delete button there or not, but you could just make another one. You can have two versions.
Okay.
So I'm saying for now, just do a second one. Like, again, like I have 4 versions of me back there, right? So I have me 1, me 2, me 3, me 4. You know?
Okay.
Because you don't get charged for having as many as you want back there. But so I don't know if they've added the delete button. For some reason, our team is really bad with delete buttons. It's like the last thing they do. So many times I've had to go back in and go, yeah, guys, they can't delete this. So
Okay, thanks.
get back to that.
Thanks, Steve. See you tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time.
Thanks, Steve.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great
Bye-bye.
day. All
Good
right.
job.